Glow Podcast Show. Do Rock Creep. It's an absolute pleasure to be back here at this round table amongst my round table family, man. Salute to everybody out there, man. Now, look, before I jump into what I'm going to jump into, please allow me this opportunity to ask you. If you haven't already did it, please take this opportunity down to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Swang Glow Podcast into the algorithm, and that's definitely the goal. And as we close, y'all came and joined this family, y'all take that journey with us. You feel me? We doing this all, as a team, man. So again, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Swing Low Podcast Show, Do Rock Creep. I would greatly appreciate that. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. So when we drop these lives or we drop a premiere video or whatever, man, y'all will be right there front and center. You won't miss a beat. I promise you that. Okay, now look, y'all see what the thumbnail say, right? Y'all see what it say, and it says that for a reason, right? The prison podcaster, me, put a target on SMY 50/50 PC guys' backs, right? Now, that question was asked, right? A couple of times from people that's been jumping in the comments. Hey, you dudes that be jumping in the comments, bro, let me say this first and foremost, right? Because a lot of y'all don't be having no pictures on y'all profile. Y'all don't even be having stuff on y'all so-called channels or none of that. However, y'all be having some of the harshest things to jump in them comments and say. Okay, now let me address this one guy that I'm not even gonna say his name because, like I said, these dudes don't even be having pictures on their profile. You know what I'm saying? So really, you're a nobody. You're a buster. If you jump inside of a man's comments and get to talking, especially in defense of a PCSMY rat. Anybody that comes to the aid of one of these guys, I consider you to be one of them, right? Now, I don't care if you've been to prison or not. These dudes is jumping out there talking about, oh, I've been on the level 4. There's been snitches. There's been chomos. There's been that on the general population yards and this and that. He's jumping in these videos talking all this stuff about this and that and blah, 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 right? Well, hey, guess what? Guess what, tough guy? Right? Or anybody that may feel like that Buster feel, right? Look, everybody walk in prison ain't the same, first and foremost. And again, let me say this. Let me make this perfectly clear if I haven't made myself clear already on my perspective when it comes to prison, right? Prison is nothing to glamorize. Prison is not something that one can put on his resume to help him get a job, to get further in life, or none of that shit. I've always said it and I will continue to say it. It's a downfall. It really is. However, if you are one of the unfortunate ones like myself that made it to one of these places, right? Well, there's rules and guidelines that you have to live by being in prison to keep the peace. Do you know what peace means, you idiots? Do you know what peace means? I am on a general population level 4 yard speaking about peace. Right? There's been times in my life of being in here where there was no peace. You feel me? So you busters that jump in the comments, I know y'all ain't been through nothing. You was probably one of them docile ass busters that was getting high off of all the medications and never coming out of cell. You feel me? You was probably getting extorted on the yard. You feel me? If you come into the defense of any PC SMY 50/50 guy, I'm not talking about no one person. So don't get it twisted. I've been hearing the different names that was thrown out there. Oh, he's talking about this person. He's talking to, listen, I'm talking about all you motherfuckers. If you've been to a PCSMY yard, if you are friends with somebody that has been to one of those yards, if you come to the aid and defense of somebody that has been to one of those yards, guess what? Hey, guess what? And I don't care who you are. Can y'all see my face real clear? I don't care who you are. It's F you too. Period. And look, am I mad that you dudes choose to to tie yourself to these type of people? No, I don't care. And again, to those of y'all that has been to prison before, y'all know, bro, we don't give no PCS and Y no acknowledgement. In prison, we don't. We don't deal with them. We don't talk to them. We don't call them. We don't hang out with them. We don't write letters to them. We don't do nothing of the kind. So seeing some of you dudes jump out there so proudly and brag up on a PC, calling a active, well, I'm not even gonna say active. I'm gonna say associate of gangs, right? Out for phase, and y'all are placing this individual up on a pedestal. You a bigger buster than he is, straight up. And guess what? I don't have to give a F about any of you dudes because we would never be sitting in the same room with you, would never share the same air with me. If you are a PCSNY, if you are friends with a PCSNY, right? Now, let me make something else clear, bro. I don't have beef. I address situations, right? When it pertains to where I'm at, the culture that I come from, right? And no, it's not glamorizing gangs or prison. If y'all don't know what this platform is about, I suggest you idiots go back and look at a lot of my videos. I suggest that if you're gonna jump out there with any type of criticism for me in regards to me voicing my opinion about a person, anybody that coexist. And I'm getting so fucking tired of hearing you busters talk about, oh, the world is 50-50. Do you got them type of people out here in the world? Okay. And are y'all friends with those type of people? Since y'all so gladly throwing that out there that that's what the world is, do y'all hang and drink with these dudes, invite them over for movie nights, share popcorn bowls with each other? If that's the case, then hey, y'all be happy in y'all engagement. What the fuck do that got to do with me though? Huh? What do that got to do with me? See, it's a lot of you dudes that's misinforming the public that I have a personal problem with, which is why I, from a prison cell, like that one buster said, oh, he in prison. I see why he's exactly where he's supposed to be. He earned his way there. Hey, guess what? Keyboard gangster, you would never ever be able to walk not even a quarter mile in my shoes. Never, ever. And by the way, hey, guess what? Guess what? If you ever been to prison before, right? Like the one guy said, he was in Corcoran somewhere, right? In Corcoran, I was in Corcoran. What that mean? You feel me? But if you've ever done time before, you would never come to the aid or defense of a PC guy by throwing out there what you think is going on a general population yard, who's there and who's not, who's been there and who hasn't. Right? You would never do no weird shit like that. Never. But see, that tells me all that I need to know about people that think like that. That goes for anybody that comes to the aid and defense of a PCSNY. Hold up, I ain't going nowhere, y'all. Hold up. Y'all got to make it make sense to me. If you gonna jump out there, jump in these comments and have an opinion about any video that I make, any content that I put out there in regards to prison, right? Gang culture, any of that stuff, right? If you're gonna have an opinion, hey, make sure you hitting somebody with actual factuals. Speak on what you know, like I do. I don't mislead the public. I don't mislead the youth. You feel me? And I don't feed them all this hocus pocus bullshit like a whole bunch of you dudes jump online doing, speaking all this bullshit rhetoric, right? About how gangs is trash and this and that, the streets is over and all that buster shit, right? Hey, bro, I could care less about any of that. I don't listen to my my people. You feel me? I have never misguided any of my people. Okay? Straight up. What I stand for, what my push is educating these dudes. Something that a whole bunch of you busters ain't even into doing. All y'all doing is jumping online, running your dick lickers. No disrespect to no gang by saying that, but that's what these dudes do. Let me rephrase that. They're dick suckers. Again, no disrespect to no gang, but that's what these busters do, bro. Jump behind the camera, you know what I'm saying? Try to say all this little slick shit, speaking around certain things and certain people, right? Like, man, I'm intelligent as fuck. Nothing flies over my head, bro. From none of y'all. So anything that you may direct to me, right? Know what you're talking about before you speak on what you're speaking on. You feel me? Jumping in comments and saying this and saying that, man, that's boo-boo. That's El Bunko. Straight up. That'll never be respected. And you doing it with a faceless profile. You feel me? Then put something on y'all weak ass channels. Put a picture up there so we can at least see the busters that's jumping in the comments saying whatever. If y'all feel like I deserve to be in prison, then so be it. So be it. You deserve to have a cactus up your butt. You feel me? Straight up, I could care less. I stand on what I stand on. I don't care who like it. And please, I humbly ask people, right? Whether they be associates to me or not, right? Do not hit me on behalf of no SNYPC rats. You don't message me nothing. If you're coming to the aid or defense of any of these busters that has been on these yards, you know what I'm saying? That see, this is something else that I want to point out. This is something else I want to point out, right? See, you have those that go to those PC yards. They go over there, right? And get out. They won't say nothing. They won't say nothing. They won't get out rah-rahing and trying to reestablish who they once was in the eyes of the public when you marked the game in jail. The one buster, oh, he talking about the level 4 yards like it's man, hey, you know why I talk about the level 4 yards mark? Because that's where I'm at. Okay? That's where I'm at. I have 300 and something points. If you've been to prison before and you know the point system, then you know you had to been putting in a lot of work to get 300 and something points, my nigga. And again, that's not bragging. That's survival. That's me 31 years inside this concrete jungle surviving. All the riots, all the gang fights, all the everything, bro. Everything that you can possibly imagine. Getting shot in the head, getting shot up. You feel me? Everything that you can think of, I've been through. So those 300 and some points that I got, it comes from all that. I've talked about a whole bunch of that stuff on my channel. You marks that has any type of criticism, you know, in regards to that, go back and check out some of my older videos and you will see the consistency in my push. This ain't just started. I ain't just start talking about no fit. And the only reason why I jump out there and say anything in regards to these busters coming off these SMY 50-50 yards, because you've had a couple of them that jump out there with the disrespect, with the extra rah-rah. Bro, you knew once you made your way over to the SNYPC yard, your gang banging career and all that shit, the benefits of being a gang member is over with. Like I said in my video yesterday, you can't hit the pause button on your gangsterism. I'm gonna pause it. I don't feel like, you know, being a gangster right now, and then going to praising Allah. All praise to the man. Get the fuck out of here with that fake ass shit. You feel me, nigga? Are you a Crip? Are you Allah or SNYPC? What the fuck are you? We trying to figure it out. But we got it figured out though. That we do. We got it figured out. We know what you are. And those that come and again, see, people is letting the bullshit overshadow the overall objective. And what I mean by that is all people were seeing is an individual calling out another individual doing a live broadcast, basically alerting the popo like, I go out here with this dude, I get popped, y'all know who did it. Point blank period, right? You have shit like that going on, right? And I would never be able to respect that. Also, I would never put myself, see, and this is another important reason why I speak on this, right? Because the question is, did I put a target on these dudes' back by speaking the truth on this game, right? Nah, I ain't putting no target on them. They put the target on themselves. I'm not the one that jumped on the live broadcast with the rah-rah, calling people out for phase fresh off a PC yard. And thinking you got that coming like you a real member. You're not a real member. Your game membership, man, your jersey has been retired dishonorably. Dishonorably. Point blank period. And you can think what you want. Oh, he's brainwashed. He's still tied to this gang stuff and this and that. No, 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 no. That's where you got things effed up at. Because look, like I've always said, I don't give a F if you dudes are gang banging or not, right? My thing is this. If you're going to be a gang member, like I have all my, I'm going to say the mass majority of my life, right? Cause when I started, it wasn't a fad to be a gang member. It wasn't, the hip thing to do, jump in the gang and you know what I'm saying? And no, man. I've told y'all stories about my household. I've told y'all stories about my upbringing. You feel me? I was in the house with gang members. My uncles was gang members. Real ones, real live ones. In the field with it. Okay, so again, some of us we're just brought up in it. Okay, and some of you dudes that's in this era, it's a fad, and y'all prove me right each and every time. I click on YouTube and one of these bullshit videos come up of these dudes bragging about sticking foreign objects up in other men's rectums, right? Doing all this fighting, lining up 15, 20 people back to back for fades and all this shit, right? That's all fine and dandy. You're doing this shit under the gang membership, right? Well, my thing is, if you're going to be a gang member, be it all the way. There should be no pause button to this shit. And if you are slow and not understanding what I'm saying is don't do all the BS in your community, destroying that shit. Put nothing back. You niggas don't own nothing out there. Nothing. Bumming it. That's all y'all doing. You feel me? You own nothing. You're putting nothing back of worth into these communities. You destroying this shit. Families should be able to feel safe to come out their house, bro. You know what I'm saying? They should be protected and feel safe from people like y'all. However, you're a gang member. That's fine. You're out there in the community doing all this bullshit, then you get locked up, go to the Los Angeles County Jail doing all this bullshit. Then it's time to hit the prison system and then the pause button started. Pause. I'm going SNY. I'm finna go sit down with the chomos and homos. Lay up with a man. They got ready, available condoms for you dudes. Hey, go ahead, have fun. You feel me? It's a free-for-all on those yards, bro. No structure, no rules, no guidelines, no nothing. They can go over there and lay up with men, which is why when you see some of these dudes telling these stories about the gay stuff, that's where they want to be at. You can't do that on no level 4 general population yard. That's not going to happen. You're going to get boop popped off that yard trying to pull any of that. And these dudes know that. They know that, which is why they end up a lot of times over there on those yards because they couldn't bring those bad habits onto the level 4 yard with them. All that had to stop. Either you're gonna turn your gator off, or we're gonna send you over there with your rightful people. So after you get sent over there, you know, hey bro, don't turn off your gator. You where you supposed to be at. Then these dudes get out extra rah rah. But the extra rah rah calling niggas out for phase like you still a member, like you got that coming. Y'all don't got those benefits no more. Like I said yesterday, a righteous homie, we get into it, we squabbling it out. I get a black eye, busted nose, busted lip, swollen cheek. We shaking hands at the end, bro, and we gonna resume program. Period. To SNYPC, then come on, bro. And me saying that is not putting the target on nobody's back. I'm not telling dudes to go out and do nothing to these busters. No, I'm not encouraging anybody to go commit no crimes. All I'm saying is, as gang members, you got to be smarter. Why would you ever sell your soul and place yourself in a position where you would have to do something to one of these busters that was on the PC yard? It's not that serious. It's not that serious. You feel me? Yeah, cactus. All of them can stick cactuses up their ass. Like I said, an iron cactus at that. Straight up. They probably like it. They like going over to the PC yards and hanging with them type of people. They probably like it. I wouldn't be surprised. There's been all kind of stuff coming out on a lot of these dudes anyway. You feel me? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. No reparations, no vote. Shout out to you, Brody. I appreciate you. What's the percentage of PC or scared versus bad charges? I don't understand that question. No reparations, no vote. I don't understand that question. Amir Berry, what's up, bro? Shout out to you. Young Tickster. But nah, man, hey, man, listen. Me having an opinion and expressing the truth is not me telling nobody to go out in the community, you feel me, and do nothing to nobody. My thing is, if you're part of the gang culture, you know better. Or you're supposed to know better. You feel me? You're not supposed to put yourself in a room with somebody that went SNYPC. You got these fools bragging about being in dudes' hood, being in dudes' hoods, hanging out. Bro. Well, I believe it. I don't know what to believe. All I know is this, bro. You feel me? If you consider yourself to be of the culture of this gang stuff, that's not a good look. Hanging with a PC, coming to the aid of a PC, that's a bad look all the way around the board. I don't care how nobody else try to draw it out, and I don't care. You feel me? And again, let me make this clear, right? I wouldn't be giving this no time, no thought, or nothing. Had these dudes not jumped out there, it's like the ones that has jumped out there straight to YouTube, straight shit on the general population GP yards, you know what I'm saying, to those that's been on those yards for years that's fighting like hell to get home, right? And not selling their soul, going down to these lower level yards with these people that we are supposed to be protecting our communities from. If you go out over there and hang out with them, you might as well become buddy buddy. Invite a chomo into your home and let them watch your kids, if that's the case. If y'all want to be so kumbaya with them people, invite the chomo into your home. Let them have your kids. When they get them, don't come crying to nobody. Oh, yeah, don't, nah. Remember, you wanted kumbaya. You wanted your peoples to come home faster, or you thought they was going to come home faster by going to one of those yards. And let me answer this question, because I keep getting asked this question about dudes coming to jail and not have like having like a year or two and ending up on one of those so-called 50-50 yards, right? Well, this is the thing. To the people that's saying, oh, we didn't know this and we didn't know that, it's messed up that you have to catch time and you going to one of those lower levels and this and that. Well, yeah, you're going to catch 90 days. But guess what? You will be able to put in time restoration credits to get that time back. For all inquiring minds that want to know, you get that time back. They take 90 days from you for a little fist fight or whatever. You can get that time back. All you doing is standing on what you're supposed to be standing on, you know what I'm saying, and taking care of business. Point blank, period. That's all you doing. Hold up. That's what I've been meaning to do. There's a couple of people in here I've been meaning to make moderators, man. Johnny Dang, live from D Yard, High Desert. Hey, Johnny Dang. Hey, guess what? I was on D Yard in the High Desert in the year of I got to High Desert in 2007, right? Then we got into the riot. When I got to High Desert in 2007, I ended up on the B Yard, right? The B Yard was general population up until we had the riot with the Norteños, right? Then they sent half of us to the C Yard, 180, and the other half of us to the D Yard, 180. Maximum security, right? You speak of High Desert and D Yard, you know that. That's a 180, those 180 yards, right? So yeah, I was there. And let me see, I got there in 2007. I got to High Desert 2007. We got into that riot somewhere in 2008, and then I went to the D Yard in 2008. Right? And I was in High Desert, thankfully, for only 3 years. You got dudes that go to that spot, bro, and be stuck up there for years. And how you get stuck up there? Getting write-ups, putting in work. The only thing that go, oh, Diddy did it, man. Let me add you too, bro. Shout out to Diddy did it, man. That's my bro with his crazy ass. You now the moderator, Diddy did it. It's my bro. But anyway, yeah, man. That 3 years that I was there, right? I got 7 write-ups. 6 of them was for violence, right? Within the 3 years that I was there. High Desert was a different kind of beast, first and foremost. So let's just say that. You talking about politics and shooting politics and all that? Hey, that's politic capital. You ain't seen politics being shot until you went to that prison and had to sit there, and you will see politics at its finest. That's how I ended up getting those write-ups within those 3 years, and luckily I was able to transfer up out that thing, man. When I left High Desert, it felt like I was paroling out of prison. I ain't gonna even these are real talk. Groovy Daisy, what's up with you, Brody? I see you, man. Salute to you. Salute to everybody that's joining the live, bro. You feel me? I'm addressing this situation that people has been hitting me with the last 24, 48 hours, right? Jumping in the comments, saying this, saying that. Oh, you put a target on their back because you said you're not giving a fade, and should nobody be giving them a fade? So you telling dudes to go and shoot these dudes and this and that? No, no. You respond how you respond. I'm telling you the rules of the game, how you're if you're in the game culture, how you're supposed to respond. A PC don't get no nothing. You don't get no head up fade. You don't get no fair nothing. You don't get no fair treatment. You are done, bro. You are non-existent. Knockouts, all whatever bodies you say you had, don't none of that matter. Scratch all that shit off your resume. Go. You went to a PC yard. Your jersey has been officially dishonorably discharged. You've been kicked out. There's no redeeming yourself once you've been kicked out and you end up on one of those yards. You can't go over there and then pop back out with the extra tough guy rah-rah shit. It's not gonna happen. And calling dudes out for fades at that, everybody is not gonna respond to you. You can't call me for a war. This is what's crazy as a motherfucker, bro. I want people to be out for a war. Gunplay war, right? So if you call me out for a war, do you seriously think I'm gonna dictate how I respond to that war? Once it's war, there's no rules. I'm not gonna fight according to how you want me to fight. What it look like you calling me out for a war, but there's rules and stipulations to that shit. You're crazy as hell, man. Get the F out of here with that. Real talk. Hey, Sync, man, I appreciate that, Brody. I appreciate that, man. Hey, we just here to wake up people's game, bro. You know what I'm saying? If my thing is this, right? I don't push the gang shit. I don't encourage nobody to become part of this, man. I don't. But if you're already part of it and you're in it, then I'm trying to make you a better thinker in it. Right? Meaning, real gang members ain't finna jump behind the camera and boast and brag about nobodies. You feel me? Real gang members ain't finna get behind the camera and speak on no open 187s, no open cases, period. Sync, man, I appreciate you, Brody. For real, for real. You just made the cut. Welcome to the family. Hey, bro, listen. If you're gonna be part of the gang shit, be a thinker. Meaning, know all the rules. Know all the rules of this shit. You can't skip over and like it's like when you're doing studies, right? And you have to read through a book. You can't skip through chapters. You can't skip this. I don't want to read this chapter and go to the next one. Nah, you got to know that book inside out. You feel me? Because like I was told when I was a young knucklehead running around in the system just messing up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my homie Tiki in the chat right now, bro. He was one of the guys that told me, like, hey, Creep, look. You got the heart, you got the commitment, you got all this, right? But it's going to come a time in life where you're going to have young homies that's going to be coming up in this system, unfortunately, but they're going to be coming up in this system and they're going to end up around you. And how you're conducting yourself behind these walls is what they're going to emulate. So you have to care about something outside of yourself. You have to care about these dudes. You feel me? And at that time when this was being said to me, right? Like I said, I had the young mentality. You know, uh, when things are said to me, I listen, but I put it in the back of my head. But those things that was always told to me always seem to come true. Always. So here it is, me being in prison, right? Growing older in prison, and more of my young homies is coming up in this system. Some of my homeboys' children, right? Coming up in this system. Now let's go back to that conversation that I was having with my homie Tick when he was telling me they're gonna be looking to you for the right answers. How you conducting yourself is what they're gonna be emulating. One or two things is gonna happen. They're gonna emulate the good or bad qualities about you, or they're gonna be inspired by somebody else outside of where you're from and thinking that this shit is cool if it's not. So you, unfortunately, are gonna be the one that's gonna have to set the standard. Point blank, period. And guess what? I found myself in many different situations, man, where a lot of my young homies, some came through, and you know what I'm saying? They didn't have the proper knowledge. They didn't. And I found myself having to raise some of my homeboys and homegirls, kids in this system. And guess what? In them situations, during them times, man, I just remember like, damn, the homie told me it was gonna come to this one day. He told me that this time would come. And that's when I realized that I had to give a fuck about something other than myself. I want to see me go home. Most definitely. So if I want to see me go home, I really, really want to see my homeboys that surround me go home, which means I have to be a thinker. Right? I can't be a reactionary to everything. Right? I have to put myself in a position to show these dudes rather than preach to them. And that's what I did. Now listen, I can promise y'all, and there's been many of my young homies, right? I've had them on this show. Go back and look at some of those older shows, man, when I actually had a whole bunch of my homeboys come through this that's from my community. Dudes that I grew up with, you know, dudes that I have wonderful relationships with still to this day, right? That has been on the streets with me and in prison. Some was little kids when I was on the street. Remember, I was in prison. I've been in prison for 31 years. I was in prison when they, you know, was toddlers in diapers, some of them. You feel me? But I can promise you. Yes, Cinque, you official moderator, bro. Yup. For sure. You official. You part of the family now, bro. But yeah, man, I can bring a whole bunch of them back on this platform, which I plan on doing eventually. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes then came, they did their time, they went home. And not one of them is going to come on this platform and tell you that I wrecked them. And they was with me on level 4 yards, where I'm at now, right? A lot of them was with me on level 4 yards. They had never been nowhere. They had never been around nobody like that where, you know what I'm saying, where dudes actually cared about them like that. So when they came around me, all game. I want to see these dudes go home. So I taught them the you know, and that's another thing. When I say teach, I mean survival. Survival don't always mean violence, bro. Survival means being a thinker. Pick this book up. Read this book. That was something that was always instilled in me in the system, where I actually, like I told y'all, being in the hole, all those, all those years, you know what I'm saying? All you had was books. There wasn't no TVs and none of that shit up in there. No, tablets and all that stuff. They cater to dudes now. It wasn't none of that. It was dark and gray prison, concrete walls, and books, and puzzles, and old letters. You know what I'm saying? That you would read over and over while you're doing your 9, 10, 12 month shoot in the hole, waiting to go do your shoot program. Imagine that. 9 to 12 months in isolation in the hole with no TV, no radio, no form of entertainment other than your mind. So of course I took advantage of that. I had to. And I read every single thing that I possibly could. Shout out to Hoover Gumby. I've spoke about bro before. Centinela, me and him go back to the Crip module, 1995. But I've spoken about Hoover Gumby. Shout out to Hoover Gumby, man. Shout out to all the grooves. You feel me? But when I was in the hole with him, this guy had more books than anybody that I have ever known. And guess what? He read I'm talking about, bro, hundreds of books, hundreds stacked up. That's where I used to get a lot of my reading material from him. Shout out to my bro Slim from 11 Deuce Broadway. He was another guy that I was in New Folsom with, where I used to get a lot of my reading material from as well. What's that? Don K. Williams? Don K. Williams said, "Me, Do-Rock, don't you think you have been locked up long enough, OG?" Hey, yes. Yes, I do. Do it come across to you like I brag about or like I'm happy being here? That's a question. I'm waiting for you to type it in the chat. Do it come across to you like I'm happy being here? Like I've happy for the last 31 years of being separated from my family. You feel me? That's what I want to know. Hell yeah, I think it's been long enough. Hell yeah, I want to be free. Hell yeah, my people want me free. I need to be free because I got a greater mission than any of this. This is just the start. This is the beginning of what I plan on doing once I get out. Point blank, period. Johnny Dang, y'all still active. Who is y'all? Who you talking about? Oh, Groove Deezy, he said, "Pardon me for asking this, bro, but I've been wondering, do you have an out date?" Well, yeah, I do, right? But see, when you got a life sentence, right? What they do is they would give you earliest possible release date, right? Which would be like mine's is in 2030 something, right? But that's when they will start considering you for parole. They don't mean that you're gonna get out. That's when they will start considering it. You feel me? Diddy said, "Books, The Secret. Listen, shit between blacks and Jews. Oops. Jews, books, The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. J.T. Browder files that Egyptian Nile Valley." Okay. Don K, you have you have held it down long enough. Let the young take their place in this gang member's life. Get the point down and come home to your people for real, OG. Hey, Brody. Hey, Brody, listen. Listen. Let me say this, right? I've said it before. How I always open my show is, right? We don't promote gang membership. I'm not on here promoting none of that stuff, bro. If the youngins want to do that, let them do that. It's their time to do that. I'm just trying to give them an option on if that's the route that you want to go, do it to the fullest. There's no pause button to this gangsterism though. Because those of us that has walked that walk, there's no pause button to it. I had to go through what I had to go through, and I am still here with my head up. You feel me? There's no easy route to this shit. You feel me? There's no easy route. People want to know what, Johnny Dang? Who are you talking to? We on D Yard in High Desert. Curious. What is D Yard in High Desert? Is that a GP? If it's not, get the fuck up out of here, bro. If you're not on a general population yard, you have no place here, period. And if you don't agree with my points of views when it comes to the PCSMY, beat it. Period. Oh, you're GP? Okay, so why is you asking about who are you referring to when you asking or are they on the GP yard? Because I've said it a million times, I'm on a level 4 general population yard. No PC on D yard, okay. Okay, that's good. It ain't supposed to be none on no general population yard. Or are you asking me, am I on a PC? This dude, man, hey, man. I'm trying to understand what you're saying, bro. Because it's not making sense. But if you're asking me something that I've been saying for I don't know how long, bro. You know what I'm saying? I am on a general population level 4 yard. Yeah, can others go back to a GP after going to a 50-50? Okay, or when you say others, are you speaking about people outside of being black? Because to me, when you say others, that means like Asians and all that. It was a topic of conversation today. A topic of what conversation? Who? The Asians? Oh, the Asians had it. Well, hey, in all honesty, right? Asians, the Asians in prison, they are generally considered old school after 25 years in the gang. And I'm not saying you are pushing the gang life. Long live the BGF and all my black folks. For real, OG. Yeah, hey, listen, Don K. My thing is this here, bro. As a person that is gang affiliated, because yeah, I still have my gang affiliation, right? Something that I'm not bragging about any of that. It is what it is. However, as a person that still has that affiliation, I feel that I am more than qualified to tell the youth, if you're gonna do it all the way. Mean it. Mean it. If I look up and I see y'all telling all these stories about, you know what I'm saying, doing all these crazy things, right? I'm going to expect you to stay on that timing. I'm not going to expect to see you hit a level 4 general population yard, you know what I'm saying, uh, uh, get in a couple of scuffles, get a couple of bumps and bruises, and then throw in the flag. I'm gonna expect you to stand on that same timing that you was standing on the streets in the LA County Jail. What's wrong with that? Because when I was on the streets gang banging and then I went to the Los Angeles County, see, this is how things played out for me, bro. Right? Gang banging, right? Fucking shit up in the community. Something I'm not proud of. Committing all these bullshit crimes in the community. Something I'm not proud of. Right? Then going to the Los Angeles County Jail Crip module. Right? The worst place on earth. Los Angeles County Jail Crip module. And let me make something clear, because somebody else brought something else to my attention too, bro, when it comes to I did a video on this a while back. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to the homie Big Crazy Drac, man, from Schoolyard Crip. You feel me? He had a situation going with a guy from my hood, right? And something was said, I jumped out there and I pretty much explained how things went up on us going into the Crip module, right? Now, shout out to the homie China, man. Shout out to China. Shout out to the big fella. Go over there. If you haven't already did it, man, like, comment, subscribe to the Inside Story with Damian Porter, bro. You feel me? Bro, did a story, a reaction video to a guy from my hood speaking about when we went into the Crip module, right? Okay, now what I wanted to make clear and concise, right? Because I've spoke about this before, and how it happened is exactly how I'm saying it happened. That's how it went, right? When we walk up into this Los Angeles County Jail Crip module, right? It was 4 of us. Now, I had always got it confused as to who because it was me, it was Blue Rag, it was Big Crazy D, and I believe it was Lil Crazy D. I thought it was my homie Tutu, but it wasn't Tutu. It was the homie Baby L Dog from West Side 99 Mafia Crip. Baby L Dog had already been into the Crip module, right? But for whatever reason, they ended up moving him out. So when we went in there, they was bringing Baby L Dog back in there, right? At the same time, we all went in there together. That's why I was getting it confused. Like, damn, because he's short as hell. Baby L Dog short, just like my homie Tutu. So that's where I was getting it confused. You got 2 short dudes, right? So anyway, when we get in there, like I said, hey, bro, it was like a scene out of a movie. If you can imagine in your head, right, being in that Los Angeles County Jail, and you got a whole bunch of wild gang. I'm talking about you think you seen dudes with the extras, but really mean it. Like really with the bullshit, right? Straight up. All these dudes that was in here, all with the bullshit, right? So as we walking, from the time we walked through that gate, from the very first cell, the first cell was the A-Tray gangsters. You had the A-Tray gangsters in like the first 3 cells. Then you had the Hoovers, you had the schoolyards, you had the Comptons, right? So as we walking down this tier, we getting hit up aggressively by all these dudes, niggas hanging out the bars. Where y'all from? Where y'all from? And we telling them where we from, right? So bam, we get in there. We get in the cell. Now they had to clear out a cell to put us in there. So when we get in the cell, just so happened, this cell was occupied by the homies from Hoover. Right? Now, we in there. Baby L Dog is in that cell with us. So was the dude Twin from Grape Street Watts. It was me, my 3 homies, and Baby L Dog from Westside 99 Mafia, and Twin from Grape Street in that cell, right? We get in there, bam. The very first person that came down to our cell and greeted us was Big Evil from A. Trey Hoover. Shout out to him, man. Hey, bro, as real as they come. Bro come down there, introduce himself. He let us know, like, yeah, man, I was hearing about y'all on the main line and this and that and blah, 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 right? Gave us a couple of big old kisus, a couple of big old nods. Didn't have to. But definitely he provided us with some big old nods and some weed. Right? So bam, we in there, we chilling, right? So we looking around, all the walls is struck up on. It's gang graffiti all over the walls, right? Everything is struck up everywhere, right? Now look, being that was a Hoover cell before we got in it, right? Hey bro, when I say like niggas had artwork on the walls everywhere, right? The Hoovers had one side of the wall with the Hoover fingers like this, right? With their roll call and all that, like the walls were struck up, everything was done hard, right? So bam, we looking around like we need one of these walls. So no, we didn't cross out Hoover, we didn't cross out nothing. That's false. Let me make that clear. Let me make that clear for any misunderstanding on what was said, you know what I'm saying, by what the homie Damian Porter had covered in that reaction video. No. We ain't cross out nothing, bro. Hoover, why would we ever cross out Hoover? And yes, it was some do-rocks that was in there before we was in there that ended up getting rolled up out of there behind some bullshit. And yes, we was very aware of that long before we went in there. So when we got in there, we addressed that situation with the homies from Hoover. We found out what was what, and that was it. We didn't go in there with no vengeance on going in there crossing out nothing. Hell no. That's false. But what did happen is we hollered at the homies from Hoover and let them know we wanted one of the walls to strike upon. You feel me? We didn't go in there and just start wiping nothing down and crossing this out and crossing that out. Nah, that ain't how it happened, bro. We hollered at the homies from Hoover and let them know we needed one of the walls. They was like, shit, do your thing. But they wanted us to leave the Hoover fingers with the roll call and all that, and we left it. So you had one side of the cell that was struck up with all Hoover, and then the other, everything else in the cell was do-rock this and do-rock that, like I said. Nothing was ever crossed out. Come on, man. Never. That's false. So I wanted to clear that up. But again, bro, and by the way, you had Baby L Dog that was in the cell with us. Come on. The 99 Mafias and the Hoovers is like that. Do you seriously believe that bro would have, like, come on, bro? And I know Baby L, that's my bro right there. I had met Baby L Dog long before that. Me and Baby L Dog go all the way back to 1991. That's my bro. When I say that's my bro for real, for real. Shout out to him. Shout out to all the 99 Mafias. Oh, is that right, Don K? Okay. All right. Do non-affiliates have issues walking the main line on level 4 yards? No, they don't. No, they don't. I can seriously say like I've known some non-affiliates, bro, that was with the business. For real, for real. So they don't necessarily have no issues like that, bro. Nah, I know some non-affiliates that was with the business, man. It's a few around me right now that I deal with every day. Straight, cool as I don't know what. You feel me? But yeah, man, going back to that crib module though, bro. Hey, bro. Wild. And you going through that gang module on top of that, where